Liverpool Fan in Japan.
Hello YouTube, Liverpool Fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man, Sai. Alrighty, the big crunch match this weekend. Man United at Anfield. Licking our lips. We can't get too ahead of ourselves for the fact that on the odd occasion, Man United set up to frustrate and sometimes they can hit a wonderful breakaway goal. However, they are completely off colour, off form, and Amorim isn't having the best of starts to his Man United career. Contrast that with Liverpool, who are coming up trumps, top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League on merit, with nearly a full squad to choose from, except from Joe Gomez. Konate, previously, Slot said he might be in contention. Bradley might be in contention for the Man United match, but it might be too early to start them. So what do? Jarell Quansah and Endo at the back, alongside Virgil van Dijk? Looky, I'll tell you the lineup very, very shortly. However, Man United also have some selection headaches of their own, with Lindelof out, Mason Mount out as well. And what do you do with that midfield conundrum? Casemiro, right? And Eriksen, slow as molasses. They can't be working together, but they have the timely return of Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes back from suspension as well. So I think I've got a fair clue to how they will line up. So let's get into the tactical lineups. This is Tactical Treasure Without Measure. Thank you, Kim, for that one. This is channel Substance in Abundance. And we're going to look at all the game-winning scenarios that Liverpool need to get into to beat Man United. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves and say 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, although I'd love it to be that. It could be a tight affair because Ruben Amorim will not want to get embarrassed, but at the same time, he'll even try to win the match on the break with Amad Diallo, for example, and Højlund holding the line. So let's get into it. And I wish you all a happy new year. Thank you for the comments in the Trent video and the Liverpool Fukubukuro Lucky Bag giveaway as well. My mate Soccer Atos is doing a 30% giveaway using the code LFCJAP30. Gives you 30% off on the site. I'll link you later in the description below, but let's get into the team lineups right now. But just before we do, a huge thank you to George Fitzgerald for joining the LFIJ members. Basically, we're inching so close to 100 members now, so why not sign up and support your boy's side, Liverpool Fan in Japan. Me and Mushroom Boy worked out in preparation for the Man United match as well. Look, check it out.
Liverpool Fan in Japan. Let's go. Arne Slot. Na 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 na.
And we come from Liverpool. Alley, alley, alley.
1, 2, 3,
Good.
4.
Look at this man. What a man exercising.
20, 21, 22. Bye-bye.
Yes, we finished. Now, the Man United team, and especially the backline, had a torrid time against Newcastle. Oh, Nana, pick up the ball out of your goal. Usually, Lisandro Martinez, right, with Diogo Dalot on the left-hand side. But Diogo Dalot had an absolute shocker. Now, we're going to set them up with their three at-the-back formation, the way that Amorim likes to play. This is his preferred shape at the moment. We've got a few key names that we know go straight in. Højlund goes straight in, for example, because you know, is it Højlund? It is Højlund, not Højland. Højlund. Because Xerxes got booed off, you don't expect him to start. Rashford is completely out of favour. They're trying his best to get rid of him as well. I think Amad Diallo is a key player for them on the right-hand side. Obviously, Garnacho could play as well. But Fernandes and Ugarte being back, I think you can pen in some names straight away as guarantees because they will want to keep it tight. And the athleticism of Mainu and Ugarte to basically hold and shut up shop and keep things tight in front of the defense. It's going to be between De Ligt and Maguire in the middle. Let's put De Ligt for now because even though he lacks pace, Maguire usually lines up on the left-hand side. He fancies a dribble, but he'll probably play it safe and simple. Lisandro Martinez is a passer out of the back, but once again, he got absolutely torn a new one against Newcastle. Diogo Dalot, pretty decent, pretty solid. It usually gets done by Salah as well. In the absence of Wan-Bissaka, you've got to think that Lenny Yoro comes into that right-back position, and Mazraoui, who's actually a decent player, if he can stay fit. Mazraoui, I think it's like that, is it? Or is it a U and I? That seems about right. That in itself is a pretty solid. Now, they're going to be under the kosh and emergency bells ringing when we run rapid. They're going to try to keep us out of these positions in and around and behind the sixes. Obviously, there's a pocket space there. But in reality, you're looking at something very, very tight like that. So it's going to be hard to break off. And they're going to bypass the midfield, not really play in midfield, try to get a foot on the ball. Manu will play between the lines, and they'll try to have these free roaming and causing trouble as well. But don't be surprised to see them penned in and really, really holding out for that clean sheet to begin with. Now, Bruno Fernandes probably will start off the left-hand side, even though he's a number 10, a roaming number 10, and they're going to go up with that kind of lineup. The only kind of variations I can see is potentially Martinez for De Ligt, because De Ligt really isn't that good a defender. He got hyped up at Ajax. It's too rash. You can't see anything behind him. Anyone can run off the back of him as well, run off the shoulder of him. He's an aggressive front-footed defender without too many technical attributes. Even Maguire is probably a better player than Matis De Ligt, in all honesty. Lenny Yoro, wonder kid, but really it's a sinking ship, so he's not having too much joy in Man United. Obviously, coming back from a big injury. Manu is a quality player, but he's lost form. And Ugarte hasn't quite lost his flair yet. He's got a tackle in him as well, but he's not a ball carrier or ball player as well. So that's how you anticipate they're going to line up. Diallo in and behind Højlund, running the lines in and around him, hoping Mazraoui can bomb up and down. Fernandes to invert into the 10 position, so Diogo Dalot can go up and down as well. But they're going to want to keep it tight because of the added threat of Salah in half space, which operates in that position. Once again, they're going to sacrifice this midfield position, give a lot of Liverpool possession in and around these positions. Fernandes tracking back, Diallo tracking back, Mazraoui closing in, try to force Liverpool out wide, and let's see what you can do in and around the outside as well. Maguire will be done for pace, but once again, they have physicality. They have physicality and defensive new and bodies in position as well. So that's how they're going to play, looking for the breakaways, looking for the free kicks in and around the area for Fernandes to drift in and Yellow to hit on a break and Højlund to run the lines, and a thankless task of chasing shadows at the moment. I don't anticipate that they'll press with huge intensity. They'll probably do a half-court press. So when Liverpool enter into that kind of position, they'll start pressing from this position. Højlund from the back, Yellow, Fernandes, Dalot, Mazraoui keeping it tight, because once again, they will not want to be exposed in half-space positions, which is our dot. In half-space positions, they're happy for Liverpool to go in and around the outside. But if Liverpool can hit these perpendiculars, then they are in big trouble as well. So let's go over to Liverpool now and see how Liverpool will line up. That is pretty much the lineup, apart from Lisandro Martinez, because I think Mount is injured, Shaw is injured, Lindelof is injured. They're not going to play Xerxes, for example, and I don't think Garnacho starts because he's okay, but he's not as good as United fans made out to be. And they're going to need a big game players like Fernandes, Ugarte and Manu to hold things tight. Okay, so switching over to Liverpool now. Alrighty, so selection headaches straight away for the fact that Joe Gomez is injured, and we don't have a clue yet until Arne Slot does his pre-match interview whether Konate or Bradley will make it. And even if they do, will they be a risk for this particular matchup, which isn't, all things regarded, the hardest fixture, but we will need to break them down. We will need defensive solidarity so they don't hit us on a break and can just sit in there. And let's see what we will go with. So in the absence of knowing that Bradley is fit, obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold just done a whole video on him. Hope he stays. There's news coming up today that he would consider a contract longer than 3 years and guaranteed captaincy at the end of the tenure. It's very interesting that he wants the captaincy apparently, and some people are reading into the news that he wants it now, but from what I read from it, is he will want the captaincy eventually, because obviously Van Dijk is here to stay. So in his latter years, Trent might pick up the captaincy. We know that Alisson Becker is world number one, Liverpool number one. Van Dijk, come as you like, quality. Come straight in. Now, it's a toss-up between Andy Robertson, who's actually played well in the last few weeks, and Kostas Tsimikas. Tsimikas is more fresh. Tsimikas is more technical, a better left foot, but Robertson is a big game player, a leader, heart of a lion, well-versed, experienced partnership with Virgil van Dijk. But against Man United, I almost feel the technical attributes of a Kostas Tsimikas can help open them up, because he can deliver a pinpoint cross. Robertson is brilliant on the early time cross when the ball's in front of him as well, but sometimes when we need to build up and we bring Tsimikas into this line for the fact that I don't think they'll press us until we get to the halfway point, half-court press. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who do we go with in defence? Now, Jarrell Quansah, we know, had that big mistake last year. Was it in the Cup against Man United? And that kind of started his downfall in terms of a confidence crisis. There's cause for Wataru, Man Mountain Endo, the Big E, the Emperor, who played a lot of centre-back in his formative years in Japan. Read the book. that book is absolutely fantastic. I'll do more translations very, very soon. Come in the site. My apologies, been busy over the new year, obviously, but we'll get back into the vlog, his newsletter, and the book very, very shortly. Endo could come in here, and he is a destroyer, and I don't think Højlund's going to outpace him anyway. He reads the game so well, and he's everywhere destroying. But as a show of faith, I think Konate probably comes back. If Konate is like 80%, 90% fit, 90% fit, let's say, I think Konate comes straight in. So if Slot predicts that Konate is fit, Konate is in this one, and we dominate from the off, and they won't have a sniff on goal. If he's not fit, I think you've got to play with your wonder kid centre-back, and he still is a wonder kid centre-back, because you have to give him minutes and a chance to grow and a chance to repent. This is his retribution arc, to come back in and show what he's made of, the class that got him noted and called up to the England squad on periphery to see the Euros. I think Quanta's got to come in. You can't kill his confidence, and Endo can do a job destroying in the midfield in front of him. But obviously, special gravy, Gravenberg, and because they won't press us that high up, or they do, we'll try and turn us over with Diallo and Rasmus Højlund. Gravenberg comes in. There's no one quite like Gravenberg. What a star, what a player. Maybe on merit, one of the world's best sixes at the moment. I saw some ridiculous article that says that he's not in Zubimendi's class. Zubimendi cannot lick Gravenberch's boots at the moment, the way Gravenberch is playing, because he's so important to the Arne Slot system. And you'll note that Arne Slot loves a ball carrier and someone who can invite the press. That's Gravenberch all day long, baby. And we know in the 10 position, Domi Schlobbers had an enforced break. Now, think how much energy, like a rampant rabbit, Szoboszlai is going to be all over their ass at the moment, and literally he look at his curve. He'll be all over the curves. He's a sexy man, by the way, Domi Schlobbers. Oh my goodness, is he a handsome man? I digress just a little bit. Domi Schlobbers will be pressing like a maniac, and his physicality, his strength, and his non-stop running will cause Ugarte and Mainu a headache, and his constant moving all the time. And partnered with, is it going to be McAllister or Curtis Jones? Now, Curtis Jones has a core to play here, because he could even start ahead of Szoboszlai, except for the fact that Szoboszlai was rested the last 2 matches, which is why Domi Schlobbers comes in. And between them, they are the 10s. Maka comes in for that control, because he oozes class. He's the conductor of the orchestra. He allows Szoboszlai to front press and front load. He is the first press alongside this in a W formation, in a kind of staggered W formation. That is how they press. Leading the line, is it Nunez? Is it Jota? Is it Diaz? Such a hard choice. We know Gakpo loves to score, and he's been on a run of games. Lucho Diaz is definitely in form at the moment. He's scoring goals in between the posts as well. One person that's assured of a place, fantasy football captain Salah, because his metrics are phenomenal. And if it is a high-scoring game, Salah's going to get the goal involvements, and I really do hope it's a high-scoring game. I would be happy to concede 1 if we can get at least 6. It's not much to ask, right? Yes. So the tough choice is Gakpo or Diaz on the left, Jota or Diaz up front, knowing that Darwin Nunez does score against Man United as well, but I think he's a little bit off key, a little bit off colour at the moment, but he has an important part to play, because at the moment he is third choice on merit, because Jota the Slotter coming in looking like he hasn't missed a step. His finishing is clinical. He plays between the lines, and he's a connector as well. He's a connector of the play. With this in mind, it's so hard to leave Jota out, because you know the impact he can make. But historically, he's been the best player, one of our best players off the bench, like the new Divock Origi. Now, Origi was a good player until the Everton injury, right? Funes Mori done him in, and he just was never the same player. Jota, for all his injuries, is still a fantastic player, and he will have an impact on the bench, and he won't complain. I think Cody Matis Gakpo comes in to turn the knife, turn the screw, for the fact that Man United really scouted him, really wanted him, and couldn't stump up the cash, and Liverpool got in there under Pep Lijnders' advice and pushing of Klopp and the transfer committee. Gakpo's in, and thank goodness we've got Gakpo, because what a mature young man and a quality player with a cannon shot and a real threat in that position. And he will pen Mazraoui back. Mazraoui can't bomb forward, knowing that Gakpo is lurking behind him with huge strides, and they can't stop Gakpo going across as well. Now, who opens up the space for Gakpo? I think Lucho. Lucho starts up top with Jota coming on to stitch up the play. Now, Darwin Nunez might be a bit miffed here, because he'll smell the opportunity to score goals. But the difficult thing is, this is going to be a game with limited space, for the fact that Man United will be closing and penning things in. 3 at the back, 2 in front of them with 2 wing backs. There's not much space for Darwin Nunez to operate there on the break. And even though Newcastle tore them shreds on the break, you're hoping that Gakpo can do what Anthony Gordon did, right, against Mazraoui and really tear them a new one, because Gakpo has that direct running, that physicality, and that unstoppable running, if not the absolute massive pace of a Nunez. But he's pacey. Gakpo rates himself in top 5 pacey players. Take a breath. Salah, playmaking between the lines. Salah and Szoboszlai obviously have that bromance that he can play that pendulum and overlap on occasion. Because of the fact that I don't imagine that Man United will press up and beyond the halfway line, I think you really, really push up onto this space, have Tsimikas and Trent dominating the game from 2 half side back positions, right? Gravenberch between the lines, but you've got to be careful, especially for the fact that on the break, right, Van Dijk's probably quite prominent covering, but always that option against the Jurgen Klopp team previously was this space here that they tried to hit in behind Trent. So Quansah needs to show his aptitude and ability and game intelligence to cover there. And on occasion, Gravenberch has got to stay nearer there because of the fact that I think Maka will sit in the middle with Szoboszlai forming a front 4, because that is how Arne Slot presses, with a front 4. In this system, I think almost Szoboszlai leads the press. Lucho Diaz plays shadow striker, false 11 to Szoboszlai. Gakpo and Lucho Diaz rotate because you're going to have to shift Mainu and Ugarte out of that central position, shift them into the corridor of uncertainty in terms of the positions where they don't want to be, to high press. Maka will be pressing in the secondary zone past the halfway line. Gakpo and Lucho Diaz will be rotating like the little merry-go-round that they can do, because they're both super effective in that regard. And they can underlap as well. So Lucho Diaz cutting inside and Gakpo going around the outside. Or even one going to the P spot. Gakpo in the half space and Tsimikas going around the outside. Although he can deliver a quality dead ball from that position as well. For the fact that when Gakpo and Lucho Diaz rotate in that kind of style, it takes the attention off of Mohamed Salah, Egyptian king running down the wing, the Egyptian archer. I hope he's fully loaded his bow. Kamehameha! The only Elliot and Ibu Konate know the Kamehameha. That's what Endo taught them. So yes, Salah will have the freedom of Anfield in this position to pick up any position, to give and go to Trent, to sit behind Szoboszlai, to go into the half space position where he's so dominant, which means Szoboszlai goes into the perpendiculars for Salah to play him in, or Szoboszlai underlaps to go around the outside, and then Salah has a decision to play him in, or to go himself, or to square it to Gakpo, or to bring it into Lucho Diaz in around the P spot. Salah is the main game-winning condition, as he has been all season long. But the interesting thing that you'll note in the watch-along is that Szoboszlai will most likely lead the press alongside Lucho Diaz, or whoever out of these two is in that central false 11 position, because you don't play with an outright number 9 when Lucho Diaz is up front. Keep that in mind. You don't play with an outright number 9 when Lucho Diaz is the upfront man. And Szoboszlai will run the opposition ragged. And the good thing is, these players are all comfortable with the ball in possession and running laterally. And that's a big proponent of Arne Slot's game. Gravenberch and Maka will sit there and tidy things up. And in that regard, I think we will dominate the centre of the park, because Ugarte and Mainu are not ball players. Bruno Fernandes will try to overload and create an extra body in that midfield position, except for the fact that he hasn't got the legs, he has got the technical ability and delivery. And Rasmus Højlund is like a 1 in 10 striker in terms of finishing the ball. And they don't really have much firepower or threat to really threaten. And if they get behind the back line, they've got Alisson Becker to deal with. This might be a game where Rashford might be called on, but as you can see, they've really outcasted him on the peripheries and trying to get rid of him by hook or by crook. Now we have options. The alternative is, instead of Gakpo, it's Jota, and Gakpo coming off the bench, okay? So Jota in this position, let's erase some of these lines. I want to use the football board again, you know, the physical football board and the upwards camera showing that, except for the fact that I've lost that pen. The little chibis, they have played hide and seek with my board pen, so I can't utilize that at the moment, but it will come very soon. Speaking of which, I want to do the live watch along, but it's just a little bit too late for me. I'll be up till 4 a.m. doing the live watch along, so I will be doing a live Q&A instead. Let's do it on Sunday on match day, preview the match after Arne Slot's press conference. It'll be 10 p.m. my time, 1 p.m. your time, 1 p.m. Put it in your diaries. I'll set it up for the calendar so you can have a live watch along reminder as well. I will do a live Q&A, any questions, any tactics, transfer windows, anything you want to know about Liverpool or Japan or the Miyazaki man, Sai, then let me know. I'm obviously on my fitness crusade at the moment, so I will be doing my bit to try and keep fit, and I will be well prepped for the 1 p.m. live stream Q&A with all you guys, Liverpool Fan in Japan community, because you guys are the best. You guys are Ichiban, and I love you so much. We're going to have a fantastic year in 2025, on the way to 8,000 subscribers. I cannot wait. I'm not going to hesitate. We're going to make content all day long. And thank you everyone who gave me the compliments in the Trent video as well. I do my best to provide as much substance in abundance, because this is a channel Substance in Abundance. This is the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop!
Well said, Macho Man. And the alternatives is, instead of McAllister, Curtis Jones, Cujo, we're going to call him Cujo for this example, can play. Now, what you get with Cujo that is really, really interesting, because Szoboszlai will definitely play this match, he's too good not to play this match, and he's on form as well, is the additional threat of a late run into the box, whereas McAllister has the long shot possibilities, right, where you pick up the pieces and he fires it in from distance, or he fires that cute through ball. If Man United are penned in, and they're really defending the lines, sometimes you cannot stop the later run. He usually comes in from the left, by the way. The late run of Curtis Jones, and when the ball gets recycled, when it gets recycled out to a Szoboszlai, pulled back to Salah, and a Trivela pass, it's very hard to stop the late runners. As Arne Slot said, late runners are the key to opening up a low block, and Curtis Jones is one of the kings of the late running. In fact, he's really added that to his arsenal in terms of what he can bring on the pitch. He's always had the technical ability to touch, but he's starting to make a real impact, right? He might be silent for majority of the game, a la Mo Salah, but he pops up with key touch and a key finish. He's actually pretty good at a finessed pass shot into the back of the net. Gravenberch will be recycling play. Quansah, I think, sits alongside Van Dijk, and Tsimikas, once again, has the proponent to sit alongside Gravenberch, which gives Trent the half space, and you're almost in this kind of shape here, for the fact that Curtis Jones between the lines is a ball carrier, passing through the lines, can shuffle the ball through the lines, but when you're rotating, you pass it along until the pass is into a Gravenberch. He might play it square to a Tsimikas on the laterals. Then you've got Curtis Jones high up. You overload that side, because when you overload this side, the threat is Salah operating and doing something magical here. When you do eventually work the ball, let's say over here to Salah, then there comes a threat. Because what are you going to stop? Are you going to stop Salah's Trivela pass, Salah running into the box, Salah playing the ball in behind the fullback and the left side of centre-back, and Szoboszlai to run in behind, Salah playing it off to Trent, and he's got a delicious delivery into Jota. My goodness, Jota in the air is a menace. Lucio Diaz is not bad as well. Curtis Jones holding behind him. Tsimikas in this case would be wider, and he pen him up and press as well. So many game-winning conditions and scenarios, but Salah once again is the key man, and Szoboszlai really facilitates Salah to do everything, because Szoboszlai is the legs that causes havoc and causes panic with the runs and overlapping runs, and even underlapping to allow Trent to get there for the overlapping run, or Salah staying high and wide to allow Trent the straight line run into here, which causes trouble as well for the shot, the passing, etc. So look, it's going to be a fun game to watch. I will obviously wake up for my usual toilet break or two, especially when it's match day, and join the live chat as well. Discord is fantastic. In fact, we've got some of the most beautiful, colorful characters now in the Discord. Red Life, Kim, Movi, Shoes, everybody contributing. Frank, Mike, Tim. It's the place to be. The chat is so fun. The chat along is almost, dare I say it, as good as the live watch along with the Miyazaki Man Sai. So definitely join the Discord if you haven't already. And if you do join the Discord, make sure you click on grab a roll, Liverpool and sports fans. Verify yourself by ticking the emoji, and in you go to Liverpool channel, especially the YouTube members. There's exclusive Liverpool lounge where you guys suggest topics for me to make videos on as well. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Liverpool are running rampant. It won't be the easiest game. I'm not going to predict a high scoring game. It's a hard one to predict. I will say 4-0. Not high scoring, kind of high scoring, but why not? They don't pose the biggest goal threat. We are at Anfield. We are top of the league on merit. We have a fantastic array of talent. It's January transfer window. Have faith in Chiesa as well, because we did not put so much emphasis on getting Chiesa fit just to give him to an Italian team. Forget all the dodgy rumours. They are trying their best to destabilise the mojo and the flow of Liverpool FC, because we're in the zone. We're in a flow state at the moment where everything becomes natural, and it's not natural. Arne Slot has trained it day in, day out on training. He's in control of the ship. This is the Liverpool ship, the good ship. And Liverpool are going to make Man United ship goals, because clean sheets are not part of the agenda for Liverpool opponents. and we will put them to the sword. And with Jota running between the lines, 1/2 chance, snapping it in. I hope he gets the first shot on target and it becomes a goal. And Onana will make mistakes as well. And when they panic and 6s and 7s, I don't even know what that phrase means. It's a terrible phrase. But when they're 4s and 5s and Liverpool come alive, 4-0, that's what I'm saying. We got that array of talent. We've got Nunez off the bench to change it if we need to. We got a combination of either Jota or Gakpo, Harvey Elliott. Don't forget, Harvey Elliott started that match. Remember, look at the Liverpool highlights, 7-0. Harvey Elliott started that match against Man United. Darwin Nunez started that match and we tore them to shreds. If Conor Bradley is back, he's an option for the second half when they're tiring as well. If Ibu Konate is back, he starts because you can't score a goal past Konate, Van Dijk and Alisson. And with Gravenberch, special gravy in front of him, Slot be cooking. Let Slot cook. Let Slot do his thing. If Trent stays or Trent leaves, it doesn't matter. Let Slot cook. He is inventing this team into his own image. Geertruida at Feyenoord plays similar to Conor Bradley. He likes ball carriers, people comfortable in the ball, and there's no one more comfortable in the fullback position when carrying the ball at pace than Conor Bradley as well. This team is cooking and on fire. Chiesa, fire and desire, that Italian blood in him. I know we haven't had much success with Italians in the past. I'm thinking Aquilani, Dossina, Balotelli, Borini. However, Chiesa is now match fit or coming very close in the cup competitions. When push comes to shove and the fixture list gets congested, we're going to need Federico Chiesa. Unless he's somehow overnight lost his talent. He's a talented player that we've invested in. I'm sure his wages are 100 and 120k thereabouts. But look, he's got the pedigree. He's won the Euros, high-class player, in demand, skillful. He's respected in the changing rooms and liked as well. I don't know if him and Salah have done that dinner yet, but that can only do the world of good for the camaraderie and the chemistry. Watch him score in the cup. He can be a cup hero. Nunez can be a cup hero. Wataru Endo will close up shop. Arne Slot is trusting him, that Japanese samurai scowls. We've got the Greek scowls, the samurai scowls, the Dutch scowls is throughout. Arne Slot is trusting the lads. And our squad will pay dividends in terms of allowing everyone the right rest, the rotation for the right talents and the right attributes on the pitch. And January transfer window, we might sign someone surprising. We might get someone in as well. We have the budget for sure, yo. We really do, because we were going to splash out on Zubimendi, for example. But let's see what happens. We don't need a transfer. I'd rather every player in Liverpool squad be match fit, raring to go, hungry and on form. I'd rather be in all 4 competitions. So the second line before the first 11 fight for their place for those cup places to really impress, dress to impress. Conor Bradley, Wataru Endo, Kwanzaa, Kelleher, Chiesa, whether it's Jota or Nunez, whoever of the lot, Harvey Elliott. We've got so much talent. This is a squad with substance in abundance, and let's absolutely spank the Red Devils, because they're going to having their pitchforks spanking and poking their own arse, because at Anfield, it's a different class. You will never walk alone. Indeed. I said ultimate preview, damn it. So the show must go on. Let's get on board with the opposition in and amongst our ranks as well. Okay. So how can Man United hurt Liverpool? Now, I think there's only one pattern of play here that could really expose us with quality play, and it's similar to what Fulham did. Okay, so what might happen is if we are playing in and around the area, playing a ball, playing rotation, playing the laterals, and on a given moment, we lose the ball. Let's say a short ball, we lose the ball. A ball is kicked over to Ugarte, for example, and he's not a ball player, but he's okay playing the ball. He might hit it out wide to Diallo, who'll be stood up by Gravenberch, Van Dijk here. Now, if he can shake and bake enough room to get the ball over quickly to Fernandes, and you've got to imagine Trent's like further up, coming back. If he can get over to Fernandes, and then what happens is Kwanzaa will go to commit. If the ball is good enough and they play a ball through there to Højlund and Alisson closes, Diallo in that moment will be running across here. Van Dijk will be needing to cover at the penalty spot. They might squeeze in a shot, or the Alisson's very hard to beat. He might luck out and hit a ball there, or he might play the ball in and behind for Diallo to slide in, or if Van Dijk is here, the ball might go square for Diallo to hit in as well. So it'll be a classic break. is pending on Diallo beating the first man to get the line of sight, play a square ball. If they manage to find the right pockets and Højlund makes the right run, then danger, alarm bells, panic stations, and we're hoping for luck to clear the ball. That is the only pattern of play that I can see on the counter-attack for Man United to score a goal. The alternative is set pieces. Now, I don't need to line up and be a set piece coach to show you all of the permutations of a set piece, but they're not that dominant in the air, whereas Liverpool definitely are quite dominant in the air. But set pieces with Maguire coming up, new player. No, he's an old player. He's the YouTube superstar, the highlight reel maestro, Harold of Maguire. Coming in, he's always a threat. Even on the second ball, they might junk something in and something might pop in. And the fun part, how can Liverpool break down Man United? Okay, so 1 or 2 patterns of play I expect to see, and keep an eye out for this for everyone watching it live. And of course, you guys will be watching it live, right? I'm sure you guys would have wanted to watch it live with me. But in the absence of that, because of the time differences, so Ugarte, Mainu, Harold of Maguire, Fernandes. Let's put in Delict in this hypothetical. Mainu, Ugarte, and we're gonna go with Lenny Euro. Let's see if he's all he was baked up to be. Okay, so you're looking at that. You're looking at Mazraoui. Let's call him Mazza for now. And Diogo Dalot. Okay, so how do you break down what looks to be a absolute smorgasbord of bodies? Loads and loads of bodies in and around. Okay, so it's going to be very hard to find space, but sooner or later, right, you're going to end up with this kind of situation here. The key is to draw out the opposition. So we're going to put Højlund back on. And Fernandes. We've got to draw out the opposition. They might step in the gap there. They might close it. And Salah has got to come more inside. When you draw the first opposition in and you go into the space, it's the laterals that allow you the extra body in midfield. So let's say Trent comes inside here. Szoboszlai is the utility 10 wrecking havoc. Salah is looking for the half space options here. Everyone gets attracted to the ball for the fact that if they turn over the ball, they're in an advantageous position and it is threatening. You play with 2 wide backs because of the fact that you can have that line and really press with your offside line there, which means Gakpo has to come back and Lucho Diaz has to come back as well. What you're looking for is to overload the midfield. Really give yourself an option here. Okay, the threat is behind the sixes. Behind the sixes is where we start to party, where we start to cook, because that rings alarm bells for Maguire and for Delict and for Euro. Especially in the back three, who do you pick up for the fact that Lucho Diaz will want to go in the pocket? Maka will be going as disruption role. And if the first man is beat, you are then past the first line and one player has to commit. When one player commits, and it's most likely Mainu, right? Because Mainu is the more athletic one, you create that pocket of space. You create a pocket of space in behind that player to play. But how do you earn the right to thread a ball there? You always have to go on the peripheries to the out wide position. Now, when you're out wide with Tsimikas, for example, you got the ball down the line, or if you can invite the press on, usually you're looking to go in to out. So in, and then Diallo having to chase, gets a player in behind the back line, and that is your key to opening up the pocket. You can't go direct because you're playing through players. Playing through players is always risky. So what you have to do is invite the press on by playing the laterals, and when you do play the laterals, everyone closes in because it's natural human behavior to close in, and that leaves Trent as the option out wide. Now, Trent, being the intelligent game maestro, is either going to try to get a Van Dijk to a Gravina, according to Pep, to a Trent. It's more rare to do this kind of thing because of the fact that you don't gain an advantageous position. You play the ball through the lines, invite the press, and then play it to the 3-man overload here. And then alarm bells ring because Trent from this position can pick up your Gakpo over the top in that position. He can play the penetrating ball into Lucho Diaz. He can play the penetrating ball into your advanced 8 position, or he can play the ball out wide here. Now, Salah against Maguire is a game-winning condition, as I mentioned time and time again. Salah against Dalot is a game-winning condition because even if Maguire on the cover, you've got Szoboszlai charging through on the perpendicular or underlapping if he cuts inside here, and Dalot will have to chase him, but you've got Salah against Maguire, which is not a good matchup for Maguire at all. De Ligt really has to take on somebody and stepping out of the central positions, somebody, because of the fact that Liverpool won't be playing with a number 9 if Lucho Diaz starts the ball. So as I mentioned before, Liverpool work the laterals to get a man over on the overload, and then we start cooking. This is where Trent's value is as an overman, because when he's under the kosh, under pressure, the one-touch game isn't spectacular. I mean, he can do it pretty damn well, but when he's got time and space and a wider arc of ball playing, he's monstrous. And that's why you play a Tsimikas as well, because let's say, for example, they've closed in and penned in Trent Alexander-Arnold, everyone's going to have to close in to reduce the gaps in midfield as well. In that case, Tsimikas is the man over, and this is why those half-wide positions are absolutely devastating. This front three will play tight, and Dalot will squeeze in on Salah, as will Mazraoui on either Gakpo or Diaz. But Gakpo, I believe, will hold the width unless they rotate, and Lucho Diaz will be playing in front of the back three, in and amongst the number 6s. When you split the 6s, now they're going to be a tight-knit unit between them. Whichever way they go, the objective for Liverpool is to get the ball into the side 8 on the other side. So Szoboszlai playing disruption, playing Trent. You might play back to Gravenberch. Gravenberch might have nowhere to go. So what you're going to have to do is really find the man over, the extra man over, and find out how to get to the man over to facilitate that 8 in midfield. When you get to the spare 8 in midfield, that's when slot ball comes into full effect. So obviously, you can't predict the patterns of play in terms of how the attacking lineup will be because you don't know the positioning of the players. But in terms of build-up, you can safely predict the build-up of the players in and against the system, knowing that Ugarte and Mainu have to play close together. These three have to play close together. Dalot and Maguire have to work together to eliminate the space to Salah. Similarly, Yoro and Mazraoui have to play together to isolate the winger on the periphery and the outside, keeping an eye on Lucho Diaz because neither of these players want to be 1v1 with Lucho Diaz as well. And that's why Liverpool's system works so well, is because Gravenberch and Maka, and Szoboszlai for that matter, really have the ability to draw the press out with the lateral runs, the horizontal runs, and then play the extra man over on the 8. And Szoboszlai, being a running menace, really creates the overload on one given side. Salah in that position is trustworthy, always to hold up the ball, and then you play from there. You always doubt that the lateral ball is on, but when Salah's involved, literally he can hit some delicious balls through the lines as well, and then we play ball. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Now, I got to say thank you to all of the YouTube members who are financially supporting this channel. As you know, YouTube doesn't pay pennies to content creators. So, honestly, domo arigato gozaimasu. This year is going to be a great year, 2025. And as my thanks to you YouTube members, I'm going to pin a YouTube members comment at the top every single video from now on. Additionally, the live Q&A this weekend, 1 p.m. on Sunday. Let me know in the comments below all the questions that you would like me to answer, and I'll get through all of the questions, especially prioritizing the members' questions first and foremost, pending time to make sure I give back to you guys as a thank you for supporting me and the channel as well. Speaking of membership, YouTube membership is the best way to support the Liverpool Fan in Japan channel. Here's what you can get. By going to the members tab on the Liverpool Fan in Japan channel and joining the membership, you get exclusive access to content that I create in the background, my translating the vlog, the newsletter, Wataru Endo's book, my uncensored thoughts on all the Liverpool content creators and other content creators. You'll be supporting Mia and Ato and helping them to get new Liverpool kits every single year as well as they're growing. I love my Liverpool kits, by the way. Why not? Let's get my one too. You'll get priority replies, member-only polls as well. £2.99, cheaper than a cheeky cheeseburger and Mackie D's. Don't need that grease. Loyalty badge next to your name as well. Custom emojis to use. In the Liverpool Fan in Japan All-Stars member, you'll get early access to videos, member shout-outs, a custom art Christmas card. And in the Emperor Endo tier, we can do a personal chat every month with Liverpool Fan in Japan and a collaboration video if you want. My eternal thanks. Everyone gets an exclusive chat lounge in the Discord and exclusive members number as well. And this is the Christmas card for this year. Big E, Endo, and Special G, Gravenberch, right? I've written every single card now. They will go out next week when the post office is reopen again on the 6th. Also for the members, I'll be giving away my kits. I'll be selling a lot of vintage goods and doing monthly giveaways as well. So keep an eye out for that, as well as regular Japanese snacks and treats to all you good fellas supporting this channel too. And speaking of supporting this channel, my mate Soccer Atos is doing a 30% giveaway in collaboration with Liverpool Fan in Japan using code LFCJAP30. LFC capitals, J capital A and P 30. And he's given me a beautiful kit. It's got the Liverpool Liverpool badge. Can't wait to see what I got. Okay, Adidas, standard chartered, must be old school. I love my vintage. Oh, it's long sleeve, perfect for the winter. Tags and or Adidas Performance Aero ready. I remember this. Standard chartered. Look at the zigzag designs as well. Adidas stripes, classic retro as you like. Live a bird on the chest, dressed to impress. Thank you so much, Soccer Atos, for continually sponsoring this video and this channel. Basically, 30% free shipping worldwide. Check the link out in the description and in the comments below as well. LFC JAP 30. What are you waiting for? 30% off. Go get some good stuff. Quality football kits. Thank you all for being part of this wonderful community. I love your comments. I reply to each and every one of them personally. Let's absolutely smash Man United. And by the way, Arne Slot's just done his press conference, so let's squeeze this in as well. Konate and Bradley joining training in today. Let's see how they cope. If all being well, Konate starts on the weekend. Konate, Van Dijk. Boom! Ibu Konate! You go Reds, up the shiny one! Have a great weekend, everyone. Miyazaki Manichiban. Peace. Jane means ciao. Hit my music.
Liverpool fan in Japan.